What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with the new reaction series. And this is made possible by a member on Patreon, Flemish Giant, so big shout out to you. And yeah, ultimately, he sent me the 2003 album, Sound of the Underground, which I believe is their first album, and indeed the first track on the album is the title track. So yeah, the phrase, certainly as someone who listens to a lot of acid techno and hardcore where you do get overt references to the underground, indeed, I looked up on YouTube on my studio just to see. I have 8 tunes with the word underground in it, and at least like 6 of them are techno tracks. So it's definitely, a type of reference that I hear very much in my own sonic world. But yeah, it's the fact that, or not the fact, but it's the notion that whatever sound is at hand or whatever sound is in question is one that you may not see on Billboard charts or on top 50 lists. It may not be played all the time by different radio DJs on different stations, but it's a sound that people who go to parties that don't necessarily have big advertisements and you find out by word of mouth or hotline back in the day, like 90s, where you get an address and you go there and it wouldn't be the party, it'd just be a checkpoint where you get another address, that kind of thing. So yeah, Sound of the Underground is a sound that is more reflective of what people who go to events and shows and parties are actually listening to, not necessarily a sound that's being championed at the time on the radio or in music videos or so on as this is what people are listening to. So yeah, it seems like a direct statement about sonically maybe where the album will be. Either way, I'm curious to hear what the sonics are. There's been a bit of comment, and indeed I do believe someone else had already shared or at least brought up the possibility of sharing Girls Aloud with me. But again, Flemish Giant made a point to send this over specifically, so we'll go through it. The first tune, as I said, is the title track, so here we go. Girls Aloud, Sound of the Underground, from the album of the same name, 2003. What was that opening riff? Bit of a trip-hop vibe. like a bit drum and bass, a bit trip hop, a bit garage.
It's a static from the floor below, and then it drops, catches like fire. It's a sound it's a sound it's a sound it's a sound
That's a really cool opener. It's interesting, like, I think some of the bits I heard lyrically seemed to fit into what I was saying or thinking in advance, but then there was that line about, like, girls listening on the radio, and I wondered, it was like maybe less dichotomous than I was thinking, less like this is radio music, this is, the idea that sometimes underground music does catch and it becomes a more popular form. Through a crucial release or, a crucial period where a number of releases end up entering the mainstream. But either way, I enjoyed it. Like I said, it had a bit of a drum and bass vibe, a bit of a trip-hop vibe, that sort of running guitar line. Like I said, it was making me think of like a spaghetti western. But yeah, some different flavors along the way. And I like their voices. I think, I looked online, and there was a description. But 5 members, is that right? I think there's 5 members, so yeah, either way, I did enjoy this opener, and ultimately I wondered the degree to which, we hear, house rhythms, garage rhythms, and so on. Like, it felt like that was a blend of styles, and, the next tune could maybe go in this direction or that direction, so I'll be keen to hear as we go through. I do have Wikipedia. I do have Discogs open, which, it's essentially Wikipedia, except with a marketplace. And the next tune is No Good Advice. And indeed, now that I look, the album is listed as House, UK Garage, and Synth Pop. So, God, I feel like we basically got those flavors, but maybe some other ones too. And I felt like there was a line in there about jungle, which, jungle depends on who you ask, but the way I always heard it used was as a particular style of drum and bass with, heavier bass rhythms and so on. Nevertheless, yeah, No Good Advice will be the next tune, which, it's a tough place to be if no one has good advice for you. So let me know what you think of this one, and I will see you next time. Oh, and once again, shout out to Flemish Giant. Peace.